Hey everybody, it's me Stacy here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, and it is time for Saturday with Stacy. We are on YouTube number 157, and on this YouTube we are working with Faber-Castel. Faber-Castel is just, they make beautiful products. They are more of a higher end fine art company, so you might not always see them in a craft or a scrapbooking store, but if you do, take a look at their products because they're elevated and yet they're not expensive. They're a better quality than a lot of other crafty type of product, but the price is either, most often it's the same or less, and yet you're getting a fine art medium for your money, and who doesn't want better product? Today we're going to be working with gelatos, and we're going to be working with masks or stencils, however you want to call them. What we're not going to be working with is texture paste, because I want to show you how you can utilize stencils and masks and not have to, sometimes you're just not wanting to get texture paste out and you're not doing a mixed media project, although texture paste can be used for cards and scrapbooking. But I want to show you how to use these gelatos in several different ways, along with the amazing stencils and masks made by Faber-Castel. And Faber did us all a big favor. Faber, they made masks that are affordable, and I'm going to show you why. 10 masks for $6.95, and then they're on a YouTube Yummy sale. So if you've never played with masks or stencils before, you're going to want to get these because you're never going to see a value like that. I mean, it's only from Faber. It's amazing. First, if you hear a little noise in the background, that's because I have a fan on me. It's really, really hot here in sunny California today. It's over 100 degrees. And as many of you know, there was a fire in the utility shed for our complex here, and we've been dealing with on again, off again power, on again, off again cable, on again, off again phones. But unfortunately, what is absolutely off again is our air conditioning. Don't want to talk about it. The fire caught, anyway, we don't have any air conditioning in the warehouse, and that's where I do my YouTubes. And we're working on getting the air conditioning back. So you can imagine how hot it is up in a warehouse with direct heat coming through the windows. We're doing our best to minimize it. But for now, there's a fan, and my Cindy Crawford windblown hair. I should take a little gelato and put, doesn't she have like a little mole or something, or really, anyway. It's probably the only time I will ever be windblown. So I've got a fan on me and something to drink because it is really warm up here. But that will tell you a lot about my staff. They come to work in the heat, and they know that we're doing our best to get those air conditioners back on and running, but they do their job. They're really great people, and I'm very fortunate to have them. So besides the phone and the cable and the internet and the power, the air conditioning was affected too. So hopefully tomorrow Saturday, when you'll be watching this, we're supposed to have the air conditioning people out tomorrow finally to take a look and see what can be done, and the landlord out to see what they're going to help us with. Anyway, okay, so we have got winter chicken dinner to talk about. I want to announce those. I want to tell you, a lot of you have been asking about my mom. She's doing okay. She's not doing great. She's not doing bad. She's just doing okay. And since I don't want to cry, I'm going to leave it at she's just doing okay. But thank you for your continued prayers and your thoughts and your well wishes. We absolutely still need them. And like I said, I don't want to cry. The air conditioning is bad enough. I don't want to cry. So we're just going to move on. I want to tell you some happy news about my son, Michael. He is 13 years old. He just graduated from 8th grade. For those of you who watch my regular YouTubes, you know back in December, he wrote a letter to Santa because, yes, if you want anything under that Christmas tree, you have to believe in Santa. You just have to, because I do. So he wrote a letter to Santa, and all he asked for was a do-over because his prior semester in school was not stellar. He is a smart boy. I know all moms say their kids are smart, but he really is a smart boy. And he's a lot like me, which is scary because I see me in him. It's like holding a mirror to my face. He is analytical, and he is able to take a situation. You may answer his question and he may not like your answer, so he will take that answer and think about it pretty quick and come up with a rebuttal to your answer, which I'm really good at doing. He's a smart kid who doesn't necessarily use his smarts to his advantage. But maybe that's being 13 years old, and I was the exact same way. Anyway, he asked for a do-over, so Santa brought him a do-over certificate. So this past semester, it was like nothing ever happened. We just wiped the slate clean. And remember, people need do-overs. And if they have the courage to ask you for one, have the courage to give it to him. We gave Michael a do-over, and while this semester still was not stellar, he did take his math test at the end of the year. It's their 100-point test, and it's a very important test. He really wants to be in honors math in high school, and I'm like, dude, that's even harder. That's even more work. I mean, yay, if you want to do it, I will be right there cheering you on, but I don't know if he understands what he's getting into. At any rate, he took his 100-point test, and he brought it home, and he just kind of laid it on the counter. He wasn't like, woohoo, look at me, look at me. He just kind of because that's the kind of kid he is. He's kind of smooth like that. He doesn't like put it in your face. He wants you to acknowledge it, but he wants you to find it on your own, so then you can be woohoo. Anyway, he got a 98% on his 100-point test, and I am very proud of him for that, because this is not an easy test. I am looking at what 8th grade math is today. It is not what 8th grade math was when I was in 8th grade. And there are mathematical equations and word problems here that I'm like, okay, I can get to step 4, but the last 2 steps I think I'm lost. And one of the questions isn't even it is a math question, but it isn't. I guess this is the new Common Core. It says that something about Ling, who is a student, found the area of a certain cube, and she wrote out her steps, but she got the answer wrong. Please note, in a mathematical equation, please determine where she made her mistake and show us what the correct mathematical calculation should have been. So, I mean, you have to look and see where Ling made her mistake, because they give you all the steps that she did, and know that she made a mistake, and then rewrite it in the correct formula. I'm like, oh, I am so glad I am not in 8th grade. Anyway, Michael, 98%. We're still working on the do-over, but we're getting there. So we've got winner chicken dinner to talk about. Let me announce our winners from last week. It was the Story Colors from Kuretake, and it was the Simply Defined Victorian Proper. You'll get some dies from Simply Defined, and you will get those story colors. Congratulations, girls. Yes, it is 2 girls. If you are Mary McLaughlin, congratulations to you. Woohoo, ka-choo, Mary. And your partner this week is Bridget Willis. Congratulations, Bridget Willis. Both of you have won those Story Colors and some Simply Defined dies and stamps by me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple. How are you going to claim your prize? Email us winner, WINNER, at scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Tell us you are winner from YouTube number 156, and we will get your prizes out to you just as quickly as possible. Now, we've got Faber-Castel in. I'm going to show you several different ways to use the gelatos. I'm going to tell you what a gelato is, and I know some of you are looking and going, gosh, Stacy, if it is so hot, why are you wearing a sweatshirt? I wear a sweatshirt every day because I wear tank tops underneath, and I don't like my shoulders to be shown. I can't believe I am showing my shoulders to all 42,000 of you, but there they are, my shoulders. There they go. Back away. That was it. All right, so with my windblown toss. Now, if you've seen Wicked, you know exactly what toss is. With my windblown toss hair, I am going to tilt down, and we are going to get started for today. How can you be a winner? All you have to do is watch the watch the YouTube, post your comment. I approve it. Keep it nice, please. And then you could be a winner next week. You might just hear your name and be our latest winner chicken dinner at Scrapbooking Made Simple. Now, are all of you ready for Faber-Castel? Because we are going to be playing. I've got several different techniques to show you. I want to teach you about gelatos, and I want to show you why you shouldn't be afraid of masks or stencils. You can do this, and it doesn't have anything to do with mixed media. Although if you're a mixed media person or altered art, then not only can you do that, but you can do this too. It's a wahoo for everybody. All right, I'm going to tilt on down, and we're going to get started. All right, so there we go. Now, it's Saturday with Stacy, so downstairs, I've got all this stuff right here. You know, I think I'm going to move my mat on a bit. Being that it's a non-slip, that's a little difficult, but that's okay. There we go. This is what everybody's making downstairs right now. It is Saturday with Stacy. That means we have our free make and take going on downstairs. We have up to 100 ladies come every Saturday to do the free make and take. So if you're in sunny California, and right now it's really sunny California, come see us on a Saturday. I host the make and take. I'm out there all day. We do it together, and we have oodles and oodles of fun, and you learn. So this is what everybody is working on right now. What did they use to make this? Easy peasy. They used gelatos. What is a gelato? Well, first off, these are the double scoop gelatos, and I want to let you know that they've been discontinued. So we have some left in stock. They're online. They'll be in the YouTube Yummy. They'll be 20% off. There's only 18 colors of the double scoop gelatos. Unlike the single scoop gelatos. Now, obviously, you get more in the double scoop, but the single scoops have new packaging, so you can actually see the color. The packaging is transparent, so you can see the product that's on the inside and see the exact color. But the single scoops come in over 50 colors. And my goodness gracious, you're going to absolutely love them, I promise. We have so much to play with. I'm gonna today be playing with the double scoops just because I have them open. But what is a gelato? Well, first off, it is a pigment-based type crayon. It is water soluble and it dries permanent. So it's just, it's kind of like lipstick. Don't use it, don't put it in your purse and then grab it and think it's lipstick. But it is a very friendly way to color. And being that it's water soluble, you can do so much with it. Now, if you are into mixed media and you do use a lot of texture paste, absolutely, you can take off some of this color, mix it into your texture paste, and now your texture paste is this color. Sure, you can put some into a mini mister, shake it up, and spritz with it, and you have now made your own color. Absolutely. Today we're going to be using a couple different things. A paintbrush, a wet wipe, and some Stacy tape. That's pretty much what we're going to be using today. Some stamps and some acetate that I want to show you. But that's pretty much our tools for today, which is pretty nice. Now, with gelatos, you want to start with a nice piece of paper, preferably a watercolor paper. This is my 100-pound Simply Defined paper, something that's a little heavier because you are going to get it wet. It will curl just a little bit as it dries. It will flatten out, or if it stays a little curled, you're just going to tape it down to whatever it is that you have. If the curl really bothers you, you can flip it onto its backside and use a little mini mister, and that will flatten it out in its entirety. But I'm going to be doing I think I'm going to start with the easiest and progressively get harder. How does that sound? All right, so I think I'm going to start with my gelatos, and I'm going to do what's called palette painting. So I'm going to, gosh, where did my yellow go? Oh, there's my yellow. I'm going to take a little bit of my yellow gelato, and I'm going to put it straight onto my craft mat. Now this is the Simply Refined non-slip, see how it's not moving? Non-slip, non-skid craft mat, which allows us, oh there it moved a little, it allows us to paint and do all sorts of stuff without having to worry about our mat going all over. It is my craft mat, so the only place you can get it is at Scrapbooking Made Simple. I'm going to add a little bit of water to a paintbrush. Got my water right here, a little bit of water to a paintbrush. And then I'm just going to blend it into my gelato, and I'm going to paint with it. The more water I add, the lighter my color will be. So I'm just going to paint. Being that it's water soluble, it cleans up really nice. And I can make almost like a sunset-y looking background. Let's get some orange on here. I can actually take it straight from my gelato as well. Oh, not enough water. Let's get a little more water on there. So I can pull it straight from my gelato. There we go. And just paint with it. So very, very easy to use. And because they blend, they're very, very forgiving. The more water I use, there we go. I can go back over it if I want to intensify my color. And then let's get the red. The red is going to be, so I could either palette paint, so put my red right there, go in there and pick it up with my paintbrush, or I can go straight to my gelato and go in there and paint. It's really up to you, whichever you would prefer. You have a little more control with palette painting because you know how much water you're adding. See how light I can get that? You have a little less control with how much you're doing when you are going straight from the gelato. But you can see how the colors just blend right into each other. And then if I want to add a little bit of orange again. So this is the easiest way to use them. Just painting with them. But then you say, Stacy, what do I do with this? Well, there's your background to a card. You can die cut out of it. Oh my goodness, if you took the Victorian proper and die cut your peacock, there's a ton you can do. There's a mat right there for you go to the beach and you've got a beautiful sunset. There's your mat for your layout. You have options. You can either palette paint with them like I did, or you can go straight from the gelato itself and get that color in there. And again, the more you use, the more intense that color is going to be. But let's say you're not a paintbrush type of person. Let's say you want it to even be a little simpler. Look, isn't that beautiful? If I wanted to blend that a little bit more, I just add a little more water and put it on there and blend it in. It's gorgeous, isn't it? But let's say you don't want to use a paintbrush. Let's say you have trouble with your hands and you want to do it even easier. Not a problem. Gosh, I really do like that one though. I think we're going to keep that because I kept it a little white there. I think we're going to keep that and make something out of that. Not a problem. If you have problems with your hands, or you're just not a paintbrush type of girl, or you don't have paintbrush but you have handy wipes, well, we're going to go straight from the handy wipe right to our paper. Look at how fast and easy that is. Orange. Look at how fast and easy that is. And last but not least, red. So what kind of person are you? Are you a handy wipe? Or are you a paintbrush? Because either way, you can do it. Absolutely. You want to blend it a little bit more? Go right in there and blend it a little bit more. It's up to you how you do it. Either way will work, and this is the easiest way to use a gelato. Now, what do you not want to do with a gelato? Put it straight to your paper. If you are using regular paper, cardstock, like mine, 100-pound, and you use your handy wipe. Let me get a clean handy wipe. So I put it straight there. Looks like a crayon. But if I go to blend it out, I'm never going to get rid of that. So you always want to put it onto your wet wipe or your paintbrush or your craft mat before you put it to your paper. Because once it's there, I'm never going to be able to blend out those lines. And I don't want you to do that, because then you're going to say, oh, I ruined it. Don't ruin it. Easy peasy. Straight to your handy wipe, your wet wipe, and just go right in. Okay, so never straight to the paper if you're using basic cardstock. It'll blend beautifully from a handy wipe, from your paintbrush, straight to, or palette painting, whichever you prefer. Now, what do you do with it when you've got it this way? Well, you can make beautiful, beautiful backgrounds. I have got a product here from Hunky Dory, and it's not the featured product, and we are very limited on it. I want to tell you that up front. I mean, really limited on it. We have their new acetate sheets. Oh, you can see the reflection of the camera. We have their new acetate sheets. There's 4 different styles. You get 4 sheets of each, It's a little bit bigger than an 8.5 by 11 because it's A4 size. It's gold on one side, silver on the other, so it's up to you which you prefer, gold or silver. This is one of the sheets. We have the music notes, gold or silver. We have a beautiful background in gold or silver. And then we have the butterflies. So those are the 4 different sheets that come in the pack, gold and silver. So what am I gonna do with it? Well, I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna put my acetate right over the top of it. Oh, let's do another one real quick. Let's do one that's got really bold colors. Let's go really, really, really bold. Oh, I hope I have enough white paper. Okay, let's go really, really bold. And I think I'm gonna cut this one down in size because I am running low on paper. All right, so let's go really bold in colors. Let's get a lot of yellow. Just with my handy wipe, you see how quickly it goes on. And then let's use a little bit of purple maybe. I love starting with yellow because I love a foundation color. And blend that in. And then maybe a little bit of the really intense blue. Oh, that's blue. And maybe put just a little bit more intense yellow. So my blue and my purple have all kind of married together to make, I've even got an orange up there, it made an orange. But I've got a very intense color going on. I mean, I've really tried to add a lot of color to that so that when I put my acetate on, it's going to look, I'm sorry, I want it more, I want it more intense. When I put my acetate on, it's gonna pop right through. What do you mean put your acetate on? Well, I'm gonna use the acetate sheet from Hunky Dory and I'm gonna put it right over the top, and I have made the most beautiful, beautiful start to either a card or a tag or a bookmark. Oh my gosh, if you were to ink both sides with the gelatos and then put the acetate on both sides and do a bookmark for somebody, how beautiful is that? But how do you put it down? How do you make it stick? Easy peasy. You're going to use Stacy tape. I think I'm going to do this one. So I'm going to use Stacy tape. This is a double-sided adhesive. It tears. Apparently last time I said it's terrible, but what I meant to say is it's tearable. Not bad, but that you can tear it. So Stacy tape can be torn. It's actually a really great product. It's economical. We give you a longer roll, a stronger adhesive for less money. Okay, so I've got some there, and then I'm going to peel up to expose my sticky. Ideally, you'd like to let yours dry for a little bit longer than I have. There we go, expose my sticky. And then let's cut a piece of my acetate off. I'm probably cutting way too big, but that's okay. And then let's just line it up on that corner. So I'm lining it up because I've only got tape right here. If this was you at home, you would have tape all the way around. what I want to show you is that, I didn't get it exactly on the edge, but that's okay. What I want to show you is that the Stacy tape is really hard to see. I know a lot of you are thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to be like vellum and you're going to be able to see that tape right through, because anytime it seems when you put vellum down, you have to hide where you put the adhesive. You've got to put a bow over the top of it or an embellishment, because there are adhesives for vellum, but none of them do as great of a job as I would like them to do. So maybe I need to come up with one. That's a thought process. But look at how beautiful that is. And no tape there, but tape here. And I mean, it's really hard to see it. Because I know where it is and because I can look for it, I can see, you know, I know it's there. But my goodness, it hides itself really, really well. And then look at the beautiful piece you've got. And all I used was an inexpensive piece of cardstock, a handy wipe, and a couple gelatos. Put that onto a card base, put a sentiment, you get where I'm going. Look, we did these with the butterflies and the gelatos. And then if that's not your color, I did them in this color too. Because it's just so easy. If you use the handy wipe, you have a little less control, but it's so much faster. If you use the paintbrush, well, the handy wipe like this, if you use the paintbrush either with water and palette painting or going straight to the gelato, you have more control, but it's going to take you a little bit longer. It just depends upon which you would prefer. And I guess that would depend upon what kind of application. What are you trying to do? Do you need to be specific, or do you just want them to be pretty? Because the blending is beautiful. Again, this is with the Hunky Dory acetate. And like I said, it's very, very limited. We have less than 100 of these and I can't get them again. So if you love it, if you want it, then get it. And when we're out, we're out. I don't know that Adam is going to bring it back, so we'll just have to wait and see. Okay, that was one easy way of using gelatos. I showed you that you can either palette paint it or straight from the gelato with a paintbrush, or you can move it, well, actually first, you can move it around with your wet wipe. Either way is going to work great for you. But let's say you want to do something a little bit more. Okay, well, let's stamp with it. Stamp with it? Yes, let's stamp. I've got my gush pad right here. Again, a piece of cardstock. And I've got one of my stamps. This is from like my very, very first collection. It's my butterfly, and I don't think it's available anymore. Could be, but I don't know. I don't think so. And it, of course, has the matching die to go with it. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to take my gelatos, again, water soluble, but a pigment base, and dries permanent, and I'm going to put it straight onto my stamp. I'm just coloring my stamp. Now remember what I said about Faber-Castel. It's a fine art medium. So you're going to see these in fine art stores all over. You'll see them in some of your craft stores. Gelatos are wonderful because they have so many different ways you can use them. Then I'm going to take a little bit of my red gelato, and I'm just going to color on top of that yellow. Then I'm going to take my paintbrush. Now some people at this point would take a mini mister and mist it. I'm a control freak, so I like to do it with a paintbrush because then I know exactly how much water I've got on it. And I'm going to add some water and just paint right over the top. Add some water. And then I'm going to press and stamp. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And there we go. And because the colors blend, you've got that beautiful watercolor look, and it's blended together. You can't see where the red starts and the yellow stops. They blend together, but there's still some on here. Add just a little bit more water. A little bit more water because there's still some on there. And stamp again. 1, 2, 3. And you've got another image. It's a little bit lighter. Then you can take your die and die cut it right out. Easy to do. You could stamp beautiful flowers, absolutely. Let's change our color palette just a little bit. I'm gonna wipe my stamp off. I could have done it again. There's still, I'm gonna wipe my stamp off. It's water soluble, so I don't have to worry. It's not gonna harm my stamp. And let's take the yellow, because I always like yellow. Yellow's my best foundation color, because yellow goes with the blues and the greens, and it goes with the reds and the oranges. I've got my yellow on there. Let's take a little bit of a deep blue. And add some on there. So all I did was color right. Oh, okay, so do you see that there's yellow on there? Not a worry. Yellow's gone. Not a problem. Now I'm gonna take my paintbrush. Just add a little bit of water. Kind of blend those colors. And let's stamp. Push down, 1, 2, 3. You're not doing chest compressions, and up. Ooh. Okay, so I like that one, but I still have more gelato on there. Add a little bit more water. One, two, three, 1, 2, 3. Not chest compressions. You're giving nice all over pressure, and pull up. Now I've got another one. Let's go again. Get ready to stamp. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, up and out. And it'll just get progressively lighter and lighter and lighter. But that's okay. It keeps all the butterflies in the same tone, but you're not getting the exact same butterfly. So now you can cut them all out and put them all over, and they match, but they're not matchy-matchy. It's like having a shoe, you know, pair of shoes and a purse that coordinate, but don't necessarily matchy-matchy. So I love it. It's easy to do. And then when you're done, you just wipe your stamp right off. Now remember, you want to have a gush pad. You absolutely do. This is actually 1/8 the size of the gush pad. It's huge, it's inexpensive. You don't want to stamp onto a hard surface. You need that stamp. Look at how good those look. You need that stamp to hit the paper, sink into the paper, and make great contact with the paper. If you're on a hard surface, you have nothing to gush into. Having that gush mat, and again, it's the right density, that's really important. And for $3.99, now if we ship it, we have to cut it or fold it, so just be prepared. It's not gonna come in one big piece, it's gonna get halfsies. But it gives you the opportunity to make really great contact with the paper, because that stamp is gonna sink in just a little bit. So now we have painted, we have used our handy wipes, we have stamped, all with the exact same medium, all with gelatos. We have made beautiful, beautiful backgrounds, all using gelatos, which is a pigment-based crayon type. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna play with stencils. Now, the stencils, people look at them and they go, oh, I don't do mixed media. That's okay, you don't have to, and if you do, that's awesome. You get to use them for even more. But they look at stencils and go, I don't know what to do with them, I don't know how to use them, I don't want to play with them. Well, I have to give Faber-Castel props, because they made stencils that are out of a thin chipboard, which means they're paper. Most stencils are made out of plastic, and they will last forever and ever because they are made out of plastic. These are made out of paper, which means you can get about 10 uses out of each of them. But what they've done is they've given you 10 different stencils all in one package. 10 different stencils all in one package. So If you've got one stencil and you're able to get 10 uses out of it, and you've got 10 different stencils, that's 100 uses for $6.95, and it's on a YouTube Yummy, so it's 20% off. If you have never played with stencils, or if you like stencils but you don't want to spend $5 for every single stencil, because that's on average the price of a stencil, $5 to $7. Even at the $5, I've seen them as low as, let's say even $4. Let's be, you got them on a great deal. That's still $40 to get all of these versus $6.95. And you know, and when you're done with them, by the time you're done, it's gonna have so many different colors that you cut it up and you make something out of this. You don't throw it away, you use that as your card. I mean, there's so much to be done. But I wanna show you how we're going to use them with the gelatos. Now, yeah, I'm getting low on paper, but that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put that down. Who would think that I would ever get low on paper? I just didn't cut enough for myself. I'm gonna put that down and I'm gonna tape it down. And again, I'm just using a piece of 100-pound cardstock. This is the Simply Defined 100-pound cardstock. You get 25 sheets for like $6.99. I'm gonna tape it down, and I'm on my non-stick mat, but it's also a non-slip mat. You can see it's not moving anywhere. This is Simply Refined. That's my product. The only way you're going to find a non-slip and non-stick is with us. Is that Simply Defined, or this is Simply Refined. So this is my craft mat. If you love them, we have them in stock. Trust me, I have lots of them. I've learned when you manufacture, you don't get to just manufacture 100 or two. You have to commit. And I wanted this mat. I wanted it so desperately, so I committed. Then I'm going to take my stencil and I'm going to tape it down as well. And you can use washi tape. You can use to tape it down. You can use a Post-it note. You can use Stacy tape. You can use, I mean, there's repositionable tape. You just need to get it down. Now, there's times when you swirl. Remember, I was swirling with this one. I was taking my wet wipe and I was kind of swirling all over. There's times when you swirl, and there's times when you daub. This is a dauber time. We're still going to use the wet wipey because it's the most inexpensive way to do this. Why go out and spend any more than you have to? But I'm going to daub my color on. So I've got it on my wipey, and now I'm just going to come in here and I'm just going to daub my color. Why am I daubing? Because I want to try and keep my edges as crisp as possible. You can swirl. Absolutely, you could swirl. Yes. You might find that you get a little bit of the gelato underneath the mask. And if that doesn't bother you, then fine, swirl away. And if you want to be a little more precise, then be a dauber. You just daub it right on. It doesn't take a lot of time. And you have a lot more control. Let's go ahead and add some orange. A lot more control, and I'm going to go straight into that yellow with my orange to add a little bit and blend that. And yes, even if you're daubing, it's going to blend. And finally, I think we will add a little bit of my red. And I'm just being willy-nilly here and there, everywhere. I'm not being too careful with where I'm putting my color. You can be very specific about where you want to put your color when you're doing it. It's really up to you, however you want to get it on there. Maybe you want to go row by row in color. Maybe you want stripes. It's whatever makes your heart happy. I just kind of willy-nilly it. I want my color, I want it blended. I'm just daubing. And I think I'm good. Okay, I really am good. And then I'm gonna pull up. And I have made a beautiful background. So easy to do. So easy. All I did was daub the color, and that's what allowed us to do that. By using a stencil that is really inexpensive. No, it is not going to last a lifetime, but it is going to last you quite a long time. And if you just then let it dry, it's good to go for the next one. And yes, of course, I could take and put my texture paste down over the stencil. Absolutely, I could take my texture paste, put it down. I could mix my texture paste with my gelato and put it down. I could put transparent texture paste over the top of this and then put glitter on it. Sure, absolutely. This will do everything a normal stencil will. It just won't last, well, depending on how many times you use it, it could last you forever. But for $6.95 to get all 10, and they have 4 different sets, so now they have 40 different stencils, to get them all for that price when you would normally pay it on average, $5 to $6 for something this size. If you haven't played with stencils, this is the best and most economical way to do it. And now you've seen what you can do. They're beautiful. Now I could die cut this. I don't have to leave it like this. I could die cut this and cut out shapes or backgrounds or whatever makes my heart happy. I'm going to show you one that we used the stencil for, and then we cut out my peacock. I could use this as a mat. I could use this for part of a card. How pretty is that? And that is just using, where is that one? That is, oh, right here. That's just using the stencil. Right there. So, so pretty. So, so pretty. I should probably tape the whole thing down. A little bit of blue. And I'm a dauber. I'm just going to daub that on and get that color in there. I'm not going to do the whole thing because I think you've got the gist. Add some of my yellow. Go right in over the top of the blue and blend that yellow in. And you get the idea. So, so easy. And look at the vibrance of the colors. It's whatever you want to make it. Gelatos are user-friendly. The masks are user-friendly. And then, like I said, when you're all done with it, when it just won't give you any more, well, it's been covered with so many different colors, you could take it and color it even more, and then cut it up and use it for a card itself. Absolutely, don't throw it away. You could make fabulous cards using this as the actual element of the embellishment of the card. But how pretty is that? Even the way it just fades out. You don't have to use an entire stencil. Look at the way it just fades out. Now I could put a piece of ribbon there and a sentiment over here. It's just beautiful. And all I did was use some gelatos. Easy peasy. I want to show you what gelatos look like on black paper, because they work beautifully on black paper as well. It seems I was very happy cutting the black paper because I cut a lot. So I am going to take, I think I'm going to use this one. I'm going to take and tape down my black paper, because sometimes you want to add a little element to black paper, but it's so hard to find an ink or something that will color it to where you can still see it. Black is it's a tricky one. But with your gelato, no problem. See, look at this. This is starting to get a sheen on it from the times I've used it. I'm just going to put it right down. Now, some of the gelatos come in iridescent or pearlescent or metallic colors. This is a gold, and I want to say this is melon. Oh, but I can't read. So these happen to be metallic-y colors, and you can see the metallic in the sheen of them. Do you see how that is a metallic-y color? Unlike the blue's a flat color versus this one being a metallic. The metallics go on black like gorgeous. And it's the same technique. Wet wipe, straight to the gelato, straight to your wet wipe, and then you're gonna pounce it. Now if you have daubers that you want to use, you can absolutely use them. I just know that wet wipes are handy, inexpensive, and get the job done. Now the more I wet this, the more I put on, the more that corally color is going to come through. So the more I put on, the more that corally color, it's not just going to have an iridescence, it's actually going to have that corally color. So then I'm going to grab the gold one so you can see the difference, although I want a little bit more right there and there. Oh, I'm bad. Okay, I'll stop. Put a little bit of gold. So I've got gold right on my white bead, and same thing. I'm just going to daub it in. Now I don't know if you can see from there, but there's already a color difference. But you can see it on the black. You can see that shimmer coming through, can't you? Even from there, you can see that there is a shimmer and a sheen. All right, I think that's good enough. My stencil's still a little wet, but that's okay. You'll get the idea. So now I've put it on black. And you can see the difference between the corally and the gold, but it shows up beautifully on black. Now I would have filled it in a little bit better if it was me doing it for an, although I don't know, maybe the distressed look is kind of cute. It really depends upon what you like. But what I want to show you is that the gelatos work lovely on black paper. Absolutely. And if I wanted to and I didn't want to use a stencil, could I paintbrush with them, or could I just take my wet wipe and grab some of my color and just go directly to my black paper? Sure, it will take you longer to build that color, but if all you want is a quick sheen, to your paper, yes, you can do that. It will take you longer to do it this way, to build that color, than this, but it absolutely will add just a quick sheen to your paper without question. So there's black. And I wanted to show you the difference between the two colors. So I did this one and it's using the two colors I just showed you, same two colors here, but then I did it on white. So I wanted to show you the difference of what the colors look like on white versus black. Same colors, but on white versus black. Because they work on both, it gives you options. Somebody posted, gosh, I don't remember. She watches the YouTubes, she posted a comment, I approved it. She goes, I hear my husband walking around the house saying, you have options. If that was you, you made me laugh. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. So now with gelatos, we've used a paintbrush to get them on. We have used just a white bead to get them on. We have stamped with them. We have made backgrounds putting acetate over the top. I want to tell you also with the acetate, let's say you already own acetate. You have clear acetate. Grab your StazOn ink pad and stamp on top of your acetate. Grab your StazOn ink pad and stamp on top of your acetate. StazOn will adhere to the acetate, and now you've made your own pattern of acetate. Absolutely. If you've got StazOn and you have stamps and you want to do the gelatos for a beautiful background, absolutely. I could stamp my butterfly with StazOn onto a piece of clear acetate, and then put a piece of die cut this out of my die and then layer it. I mean, there's tons to be done because gelatos are so forgiving. And if you've got clear acetate, stays on, and some stamps, have at it. Go have some fun because you can make the most beautiful backgrounds. So we've stamped, we've swooshed, we've painted, we've daubed, all with gelatos. And I love the fact that their masks give you so many options for so little money. Here's some more samples I was working on. So we've daubed to get these done. And you saw just how pretty and just how easy it can be on just white paper. And then if you do love textured paste, go ahead and grab it. Gosh, I could have put texture paste right over the top of this and then thrown some glitter over it. I'll show you a sample of that. But this is gelatos. This is how easy they are to use. And, oh, that's not good. Put the wrong lid on. And it's more of a artist's medium. They're absolutely in the craft industry without question. But because Faber-Castel is from the fine art side of our industry, you're always going to find that their products are always top notch. Always. Love them. All right, so I hope you have learned something about gelatos that maybe you didn't know before. Keep in mind that the double scoops are discontinued, and when we're sold out of them, we are sold out of them. We still have some open stock left, and they'll be on sale in the YouTube Yummy, but they only come in 18 colors. The new sets, the new ones, come in these beautiful little clear, so you can see what color it is right away. There's no question about what color blue it is because that's the product right there. You can see right through it. So these are the new single scoops, and yes, we'll have them on the YouTube Yummy as well. There's several different packs of the stencils. All of them will be on sale. I think I only have 3 of the 4 here. This is the, what are they calling this one? I can't see. It just says Mixed Media Stencils, but there's got to be a name. Huh. Well, anyway, there's one. Gosh, I would have thought it would have had a name to it. Here's the other. Here's another set. This one we've had before, but you get all 10. This is another new set that has the artist's words. There you go. Hopefully you can see that, but you get all 10 for $6.95. That's an incredible value. And like I said, there's one more set. I want to say this is called Classic. The one I used today is Classic. But if you love stencils, this is a great value. If you've never played with stencils, this is a great value. If you just want to take them and you just want to chop them up and use them as their own bits and pieces, even that's a great value because you're getting 10 of them that you can cut down and use elements of on your own cards. Even if you don't want to stencil with them at all, they're still a great value. And then, like I said, we've got the Hunky Dory acetate. It is very limited, really, really limited. But there you go. That'll be on a YouTube Yummy as well. And then, of course, the gelatos. And there are some kits. People are going to ask about an I Want It All. So I wanted to show you the kits. There's one of the kits. And here's the other. Now, if you were to buy both kits, they come with different elements. They come with some stamps, they come with some paint brushes. Both of them have different little bits and pieces in it. Do you have any colors that overlap between the sets? Yes, the white, the black, and I think the gold and the silver. So you're going to get a white, a black, a gold, and a silver here, a white, a black, a gold, and a silver here, and then the rest of the colors will not overlap. So that's why this one's called, I guess, Dolce 2, and this is the original. And they are at 20% off, which you're not going to see very often. So if you want I Want It All and you're okay getting 4 gelatos that are duplicates, and you can take that white and you can use the white with the other colors to tone it down, to make a new color. You can take that black and add it to the other colors to intensify the color. Absolutely. So those are the sets, but then we also will have them in open stock for you. Now I have got samples to show you, so I want to go through those. And I've shown you these two already. Get all this out of my way. There we go. So this is what everybody's making downstairs. I've got several versions of it. I showed this one to you. And that's using my dotty paper on the back. It's my dotty paper, and this is just on white 100-pound cardstock using Glelatos and their stencils. Here's a little bit more of a distressed look, because maybe you like that. Maybe that's more your look. A little bit more of a distressed look, although so pretty. And we're using seam binding for the ribbon. So you can see we've made lots of samples, so the girls downstairs who they're doing the make and take, they're going to have their choice of what stencil to use, they're going to have their choice of what paper to use, the background paper, they're going to have their choice of what gelatos to use. And if you come visit us, you too. This one's really distressy. She got a lot of water in there. But could you imagine this in darker tones for a guy card? Guy cards are so hard to do sometimes. A lot of these actually would lend to a guy card just depending on what color gelatos you use. Now I told you I would show you one that had glitter over the top. Here it is. Can you see the glitter? Move those out of the way. Can you see the glitter? So we put the stencil down on top, we daubed, then we let it dry, then we put transparent medium over the top of it, transparent gel over the top of the stencil. So we put it down, we daubed our color, let it dry, then we took a palette knife and put transparent gel over the stencil, picked the stencil up, and put glitter. And where that transparent gel was, the glitter stuck. Beautiful though, isn't it? Love it with the glitter, so pretty. And then I said I would show you some that were done with a stencil and die cut. Here is my latest die from Simply Defined, my peacock die, Gilded Plume, sold out except for in the I Want It All, but you can see we used the stencil and then we die cut it. It just adds a little texture, it adds a little pop, and it looks great. And here we did the same. I think this is an older Heartfelt Creations where we've taken and made our background colors and then die cut. When you can't find the right paper, make your own. You can do it. And then die cut. It doesn't have to stay. It doesn't have to stay a background. Could you imagine this one die cut? How and then the birdie out of it. How beautiful for the hummingbird. Make your own. It's just paper. You're investing into a product that's going to last you a nice long time. And because there's so many different ways to use it, it's not a one-trick pony, as they say. Then we have some samples using the acetate. That's using the acetate. So we made the background out of the white paper, and then we cut the acetate and put it down with Stacy tape to make our cards. Oh, it's hot in here. How pretty is that? Who wouldn't want to get this in the mail? And like I said, if you have acetate, stamp your own stamps on it. If you've got background stamps, do them yourself. You can. You've already got the acetate, you already have the stays on, and you already have the stamps. Look at how beautiful is that. Again, using seam binding. And yes, I haven't quite figured out how we're going to do the seam binding, but I'm working on it. That's easier for me than 12 by 12 paper. We will eventually have seam binding for sale online in probably 5-yard little pulls or ribbon, whatever, on a, and we're trying to do it for about $2.50. I'm trying. Isn't that beautiful? Just with acetate over the top. Look at how lovely. when you need to make your own background. Sometimes you can't find the right paper. Sometimes you don't have time to go to the store to find paper. You want to go to the craft store, but you just don't have time. Whip out your gelatos, whip out a piece of white or black paper, and make your own. This is my die too. That's a Simply Defined die too. So pretty. Yvette did a lovely, lovely job. All right, so I'm going to tilt on up, and I'm gonna say, this is Stacy at Scrapbooking Made Simple. I hope you learned about gelatos. There are other products on the market that will do very similar things, and if you own them, try them. You may be just as happy with them as you are with the gelatos. I just know for Scrapbooking Made Simple, we try to buy from the very best companies that we can, and Faber-Castel not only does the gelatos, they do the big brush pit pens. They have the most beautiful, they do so many different gel mediums. They have a beautiful product, and they really do come from a fine art background. So their water, Aquarelle, water pencils that I'm looking at, oh, my heart be still. So those are coming later. So if you have a similar product, because there are other products out there on the market, try it. If you're happy with it, that's Rockstar. That's one less thing that you have to buy to be able to use. Hopefully they will work in the same way, in the same manner, and give you results that you're happy with. If you don't have any of this yet, then I recommend the Faber-Castel, only because the gelatos are just a fabulous medium, and you can't go wrong. $6.95 for 10 stencils, and then you use, once they're no longer able to work anymore, then you use them as an embellishment themselves and cut them up and do all sorts of stuff with them. All right, it's me, Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple. Where are you going to find all this great product? Scrapbookingmadesimple.com. There, I can feel little beads of sweat rolling down my back. So I am going to be done for today. I will see you next Saturday with, what are we doing next week? Oh, I think we're doing Stamps by Do Crafts. I think we are. Well, I can't wait to bring those to you as well. They're brand new, they're beautiful, and they are reasonably priced. Okay, so that's a kind of a teaser for next week. Until then, I will see you. Bye guys. Stacy, Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Toodles!